Your LLM has never read your company's documents. It does not know your product, your policies, or anything that happened after its training cutoff. So, how do tools like enterprise chatbots answer questions about private data with stunning accuracy? The secret is not a bigger model. It is a technique called RAG. And by the end of this video, you will build a complete production version of it, piece by piece, with real code. Let us start with the core problem. A large language model is frozen in time. It only knows what it saw during training, and it has zero access to your private data. Ask it about your internal wiki, and it will either say it does not know, or worse, confidently make something up. RAG fixes this by giving the model the right information at the exact moment it needs to answer. Here is the whole pipeline at a glance. A user asks a question. We turn that question into a vector, search a vector database for the most relevant chunks of your data, then hand those chunks to the LLM as context. The model reads the context and writes a grounded answer. Two phases really matter here: an offline indexing phase where we prepare data, and an online retrieval phase that runs at query time. Keep these two phases separate in your mind as we go. Let us set up our environment. We will use Python with a handful of well-known libraries, the OpenAI client for embeddings and generation, the Qdrant client as our vector database, and TickToken to count tokens accurately. Qdrant is open source, runs locally in Docker, and scales to production, so it is a great choice for learning and shipping. Run this install, and we are ready to build. Before we write code, we need the vector database running. The cleanest way is Docker. This single command pulls the Qdrant image and starts it on port 63333. You now have a fully functional vector database on your machine, the same engine you would run in production. No cloud account needed to start learning. Now the first real decision: chunking. You cannot just embed an entire 100-page PDF as one vector. Embeddings have token limits, and more importantly, a giant chunk dilutes meaning. Imagine searching a library, but every book is glued into one massive volume. You need pages, not the whole shelf. Good chunking splits documents into semantically coherent pieces, small enough to be precise, but large enough to keep context. Get this wrong, and even a perfect retrieval system returns garbage. Here is a token-aware chunker. We use TickToken to count real tokens, not characters, because that is what the embedding model sees. We split into chunks of around 500 tokens with a 50-token overlap. That overlap is crucial. It stops us cutting a sentence in half and losing meaning across a boundary. Notice we step forward by chunk size minus overlap each iteration. This sliding window keeps neighboring chunks connected. So, what is an embedding? It is a list of numbers, a vector that captures the meaning of text. Similar meanings land close together in this high-dimensional space, even if the words are completely different. The phrases "cancel my order" and "how do I get a refund" have no words in common, yet they sit near each other because they mean similar things. This is why semantic search beats keyword search. We are matching meaning, not spelling. Let us generate real embeddings. We call the OpenAI embeddings endpoint with the text embedding 3 small model. It is cheap, fast, and produces vectors with 1536 dimensions. The key efficiency trick here is batching. We send many chunks in one request instead of one call per chunk. That cuts latency and cost dramatically when you're indexing thousands of documents. The function returns a list of vectors, one per input chunk. Now we set up storage in Qdrant. A collection is like a table for vectors. We tell Qdrant the vector size, 1536, to match our embedding model. and the distance metric. We use cosine similarity, which measures the angle between vectors and is the standard choice for text embeddings. Getting the size and distance right here is essential. They must match your embedding model exactly, or search will silently fail. Time to load data. We upsert points into the collection. Each point has an ID, the embedding vector, and a payload. The payload is the secret weapon. It stores the original text and metadata like source, title, and page number. Why keep the text? Because the vector alone is just numbers. When we retrieve, we need the actual content to feed the model. The metadata also lets us filter later, for example, to search only one document or one user's data. Let us run the indexing pipeline end to end on a real file. We read the document, chunk it, embed the chunks, and upsert them. The terminal confirms how many chunks landed in the database. This is your entire offline phase. Run it once and rerun only when your source data changes. In production, this becomes a scheduled job or a webhook triggered on document updates. Now the online phase. When a user asks a question, we embed that question with the exact same model, then ask Qdrant for the nearest vectors. The limit parameter controls how many chunks we pull back. Usually 3 to 5 is a good start. Each result comes with a similarity score. Higher means closer in meaning. This is the heart of retrieval. Turning a question into a vector and finding its neighbors in milliseconds. Let us see what retrieval actually returns. We search for a question about refund policy. Notice the top result scores around 0.89, and the text is genuinely relevant even though it never repeats our exact words. This is semantic matching in action. Always inspect your scores during development. A top score below 0.7 usually means your data does not contain a good answer, and the model is about to be set up to guess. Here is a trap many tutorials skip. Pure vector search struggles with exact terms, product codes, names, version numbers, acronyms. Ask about error code E409, and a semantic model may drift to similar sounding concepts and miss the exact match. The fix is hybrid search. Combine dense vector search with traditional keyword search, often called sparse or BM25. You get the best of both, meaning plus precision on exact tokens. Qdrant supports hybrid search natively using sparse vectors. Here we run a dense query and a sparse keyword query together, then fuse them with reciprocal rank fusion. RRF is elegant. It rewards documents that rank highly in either method without needing to normalize different score scales. The prefetch list runs both searches and the query stage combines them. This one change dramatically improves retrieval on real, messy data. Even hybrid search returns a rough ordering. To squeeze out the best accuracy, we add a pre-ranker. A cross-encoder reads the query and each candidate together and scores their relevance directly, which is far more precise than comparing two separate vectors. The trick is to retrieve a wide net, say 20 candidates, cheaply, then re-rank and keep only the top 3. This two-stage approach is exactly what high-end production systems do. Now we assemble the prompt that goes to the LLM. This is where many RAG systems quietly fail. We inject the retrieved chunks as context and give the model strict instructions. Answer only from the context, and if the answer is not there, say so. That last rule is your main defense against hallucination. We also include the source labels so the model can cite where each fact came from. Clear instructions here matter as much as good retrieval. Finally, we generate the answer. We pass our messages to the chat completions endpoint using GPT-4o. We set temperature low, around 0.2. Because in RAG we want faithful, deterministic answers, not creative ones. The model now reads our retrieved context and produces a grounded response. This single function is the join between retrieval and generation. The R and the G in ARAG coming together. Let us wire it all together and run a real query. The pipeline embeds the question, runs hybrid search, re-ranks the candidates, builds the prompt and calls the model. Watch the output, a precise grounded answer with a citation back to the source document. That citation is what makes RAG trustworthy. Users can verify, and you can debug exactly which chunk produced which claim. Production data changes, documents get updated, deleted, or replaced. If you only ever insert, your database fills with stale duplicates that poison retrieval. The fix is deterministic IDs and upserts. Instead of random UVids, derive each chunk ID from the source and chunk index. Now re-indexing a document overwrites its old chunks instead of duplicating them. For deletions, filter by source and delete those points directly. Metadata filtering is a superpower for multi-tenant apps. Say each user should only ever see their own documents. You add a filter to the search so vectors from other users are never even considered. This is not just a feature. It is a security boundary. Filtering happens inside the database before similarity scoring, so it is fast, and there is no risk of leaking another tenant's data into the LLM's context. How do you know your RAG system is actually good? You measure it. Build a small evaluation set. Questions paired with the chunk IDs that should be retrieved. Then compute metrics like hit rate. Did the right chunk appear in the top K? And mean reciprocal rank. How high up it appeared? Run this every time you change chunk size, the embedding model, or the re-ranker. Without evaluation, you are tuning blind and every change is a guess. Here are results from two configurations side by side. The first uses pure vector search. The second adds hybrid retrieval and re-ranking. Look at the jump. Hit rate climbs from 72% to 91%, and MRR improves sharply. This is concrete proof that the extra stages earn their cost. Numbers like these are how you justify architecture decisions to your team instead of relying on gut feeling. Production RAG has a budget. Every query costs embedding calls, a database lookup, re-ranking compute, and LLM tokens. 3 levers control this. 1. Cache embeddings for repeated queries. 2. Cap how much context you send. More chunks means more tokens and slower, pricier calls. 3. Pick the right model tier. Not every query needs your most expensive model. Measure cost per query early, because at scale, these numbers decide whether your product is viable. One more production touch: streaming. RAG answers can take a couple of seconds, and users hate staring at a blank screen. By streaming tokens as the model generates them, the answer appears word by word. Just like ChatGPT, it is a tiny code change with a huge impact on perceived speed. Set stream to true and iterate over the chunks, yielding text as it arrives. Let us zoom out to the full production architecture. An ingestion service handles chunking and embedding, triggered whenever documents change. The vector database holds your indexed knowledge. An API service runs the query time pipeline: retrieve, re-rank, generate, stream. A cache sits in front for repeated queries, and an evaluation harness runs in CI to catch regressions. This is the shape of a serious RAG system, and you now understand every box in it. Before we wrap, the mistakes that bite people most. Mismatched embedding models between indexing and querying. Always use the exact same model. Chunks too large, which buries the answer in noise. No evaluation, so you cannot tell if changes help. And forgetting the say I do not know instruction, which lets the model hallucinate when retrieval comes up empty. Avoid these 4, and you are already ahead of most RAG implementations in the wild. You have built a complete production RAG pipeline from scratch. You now know how to chunk and embed data, store it in a vector database, retrieve with hybrid search and re-ranking, and generate grounded answers with citations. You also know how to evaluate, secure, and scale it. That is real engineering, not a toy demo. Keep this code as your starting template for any RAG project you ship. So here are the 3 things to take away. 1. RAG grounds your LLM in your own data by retrieving relevant chunks at query time. 2. Production quality comes from hybrid search plus re-ranking, not just plain vector lookup. And 3. Evaluation is non-negotiable. Measure hit rate and MRR before and after every change. Next up in the AI track, we go deeper into agentic RAG, where the model decides what to retrieve and when. If this helped, subscribe to Sucrid Learn Hub and drop a comment telling me which part of RAG you find hardest: chunking, retrieval, or evaluation. I read every single one.